What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for July 19th, 2020. So today is the day the Guild Wars update is already live, and tonight is the first time we get to personally experience it on the Android and iOS servers. Of course, it has been up on the TapTap servers. They've been tweaking it, they've been making it better, so hopefully it's good to go tonight. But let's jump into the information we have so far, and of course, tomorrow I will make some live videos so you guys get to see exactly what goes on, especially if you're not an official or guild leader. So, as always, it takes guild level 12 to participate in Guild Wars, so nothing has changed there. The seasons have changed quite a bit though. Each season will still last 7 days, pretty much same as normal right now. First day, day 1, so tonight to tomorrow night, is going to be the prep phase. Day 2 to 7 are the battle phases. And then once you are done the following Saturday, you go into a 7-day truce. So it's on 1 week, off the next week. But the rewards are pretty much doubled. So you should be getting about the same resources per week. Of course, you're having a week off. I think it's because they don't want people to have to manage it all week constantly again. So we'll have to see how that works. I think it's a good idea. Each season, 5 random guilds whose tiers are close to each other will be matched together. So hopefully, it sounds like their goal is they're going to try to match up some power levels. Of course, we're going to have to see how that works out in the long run. But if there are not enough guilds in a certain tier, guilds from adjacent tiers will be matched instead. So occasionally you might have weaker guilds in your group or stronger, but overall I think it should be pretty, at least the goal is to be pretty much accurate. If there are groups that contain fewer than 5 guilds, so if they can't somehow make it so that every guild has the exact right amount, they can start the fight and get ranking rewards based on the ranking rules. So we're gonna have to see what that actually means. We haven't had clarification on that just yet, but at the end of 7 days, all guilds will receive their info of their final tier and what rewards they will be getting. So that is really, really good. So right here is one of the first screenshots. It's the new layout. Actually, I've probably shown it. I'll probably have that up for most of this here, but it is the screenshot of what the new battlefield looks like for Guild Wars. Of course, a lot of people won't get to actually participate since it's mostly the officials that are going to be doing the fights. Of course, you have to set up your own team as always, but the officials can move you around, things like that for most optimal attacking and defense. So let's jump into the prep phase first, which is the first day of each season. During the prep phase, guild members can set their defensive lineup. So like I said, you can set up your own defensive lineup, and then guild leader and officials can adjust the garrisons of each fort. So they can change up who is in where and things like that, but your team is your team. Once you set your team, the officials can't change your team in any way. They can just change where you are located. So each guild has 10 forts, and each fort needs at least 1 guild member to essentially guard it. So if you have for some reason an inactive guild and you don't have at least 10 people signing up, you need to start recruiting, because if you do not have at least 10 players signed up, you will forfeit and get no rewards. So for those of you out there, before we even go any further, if you are in a very unactive guild, you might want to look for a different guild for that. But of course, it can have 1 guild member up to 3 guild members depending on your rank, your guild tier. We'll go over that here in a second. So guild's current tier decides the garrison teams that can be deployed to a fort. The higher a guild's tier, the more garrison teams that can be put in each fort. So as we said, 1 to 3. Here's what it looks like. So there's multiple guild tiers: gold and amber, shining crystal, starry emerald, azure, sapphire, and royal amethyst. So based on your guild's tier, tells you how many teams you can have in each garrison. Guild members cannot change the fort once they select one to garrison, and the guild leader or officials can adjust the deployment of members afterwards. So like I keep saying, guild leaders and officials have kind of end all be all for where they want your team to be. But during the prep phase, guild members will have to deploy heroes for all of the 5 garrison teams regardless of their guild's tier, which is interesting. We're gonna have to see how that works out. After the guild leader or official adjusts the deployment, they will need to wait at least 2 minutes before adjusting again. Yeah, I guess that might be just so they can't keep swapping up teams, so the attacking teams have time to actually attack. It probably sounds like it's a behind the scenes nightmare if they can constantly be swapping, but each fort needs to have at least one guild member in its garrison to defend it. At the end of each prep phase, if a guild has fewer than 10 members, or there are still forts that lack garrisons, the guild will be disqualified. So that's what I was talking about. You have to make sure you at least garrison one member of your guild in each garrison. And of course, guild members who haven't assigned any garrisons during the prep phase will be disqualified from the guild war. So you will not get rewards if you do not sign up. So make sure you're signing up on that first day. So that takes care of the first day. That's the whole prep phase. It's a whole lot. They try to give you as much detail as possible. But of course, at the end of the day, we'll have to see how it works out in game. We'll check that out tomorrow. The battle phase. So this is the 2nd to 7th day of the season. During the battle phase, guild members can gain points by challenging forts, and each fort can be challenged once per day. Before challenging a fort, you need to deploy a team manually, so you have to set it up yourself. When the challenge starts, the team will fight the garrison teams from the other guild in the fort one by one. Each battle is independent of the others, and each victory earns both you and your guild 100 points. So there will be a system called private points and guild points. So the private points are not really to reward the individual, it's to show what they have, or how they have performed in the guild war. So it doesn't really do anything else besides that. In the guild war of the day, each hero can only be deployed to battle one time as well. And here are the rewards for how you advance during the event. So from the lowest, gold and amber, the top 3 teams, if you are in that tier, the top 3 teams will be promoted. Number 4 and 5 stay at the lowest. And as you go up, only the top 2 teams will get promoted to the next one. So if you are in Shining Crystal and you come in 1st or 2nd out of your 5 teams, you will be promoted to Starry Emerald. So that's how it works. And of course, number 4 and 5 get going, or they go down. Number 3 stays where it is. 4 and 5 go back down a tier. That's all the way up to Azure Sapphire, and then Royal Amethyst. Top 2 teams stay at Royal Amethyst, while 3, 4, and 5 go back down. So it could be an up and down as the days go on, but during the battle, all guilds will have their ranking and grade updated daily at 00 GMT based on the battle results from the previous day. After the daily settlement, all the guilds will be matched based on their new tiers. So that's what the tiers are for. You'll get rematched for people in your own tier. If you got 1st or 2nd place, you're going to go up to Azure Sapphire. That's great. But then you're going to be matched up with people in Azure Sapphire as well. The guild war ends at the end of the battle phase during day 7. All the guilds will receive rewards based on what final tier they end up in. So let's jump to the rewards first. So here's what it kind of looks like. You get a bunch of different things. Of course, you get new avatar frames as well. So these are pretty good. The lowest one, of course, only gives control immunity and attack, whereas the highest ones give control immunity, HP, and attack. Remember, these numbers here are just for the level 1 version. They can be upgraded all the way to level 10. So yeah, control immunity, that might be really, really good for those of you who do not push interdimensional arena. This might be the frame you want to go for next. High levels of HP. So it's really going to be important being in a good guild here. So that's really good. There is a banner store that you can make purchases during the week. This is for the officials and the guild leader. Each guild will get 20 banners at the beginning of the battle phase. So after the prep phase, the first day, you will get 20 banners. During the battle phase, each guild will get 10 banners every day afterwards. Guild leaders or officials can tap the banner store at the top right to purchase buffs for forts. Fort buffs only work in Guild War, and they only last during the Guild War battle phase. Fort buffs grant bonus effects to all guild members who would attack the fort and can be stacked on the same fort. So if you're going up against a fort that's really, really strong, you can get a bunch of attack buffs, things like that, and just kind of pound your way through that one fort. And of course, all banners and fort buffs will be reset at the end of Guild Wars. So we'll go into this tomorrow I guess we'll do a video tomorrow that will go over the prep phase. And then on Tuesday, we will go over what it actually looks like in game for the battle phases. I'll show you guys what each buff does, which all these nice little logos. We'll go over everything. And of course, there are some special rules they wanted to talk about as well. During the prep phase, a guild can't be disbanded if all forts have been deployed to garrisons. During the battle phase, participators can't disband their guild. So essentially, once you lock in for the week, the guild is the guild. You cannot get rid of the guild for any reason. During the prep phase, in the case that there is a disbandment countdown in a guild, yet no fort lacks garrisons, the system will automatically remove the countdown as well. During the prep phase, if a guild member leaves their guild but hasn't deployed any garrisons, they can still deploy their garrisons after joining the new guild. So if you're swapping over and it's the prep phase, the first day, you can still change guilds and you won't be punished for that as long as you have not deployed your team yet. And lastly, if a guild member has deployed garrisons but leaves their guild before the guild war ends, they won't get any rewards from the guild war and they won't be able to participate in it again until the next season starts. So just remember, if you leave before the rewards are given out, you will not get the rewards. You have to be in that guild at that time. So overall, I think this is a really cool change to a system that's really been tedious overall. A little more interaction. I will highlight it as much as I can this week so you guys that are not guild officials or leaders, if you're not one of those, you don't get to really see it. So I'll show you what it's like. You can live vicariously through Barry once again. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. More information to come. I know it was a ton of reading and not that many graphics just yet. So once it goes live, we will do it probably on the podcast tomorrow as well. So look forward to that. And I'll see you guys next time. How careless we could be.